Welcome to the Conclave.
Hey, everybody, and welcome back to the Conclave.Podcast. We've gotten out of habit of this, so we're going to go ahead and start it right back up by introducing ourselves in case we have some new listeners with us so they know who the heck is talking at them.
I hope we have new listeners.
It'd be nice.
Be great.
We love our current listeners, but building is always better. So I am Patrick, and this is
Jess.
And we are your wonderful hosts and the owners of the Menagerie in Pittsburgh.
You can find us at the Menagerie PGH on Facebook and Instagram, and the menagerie.pgh.com.
That's our website.
We don't plug our actual shop enough, so I'm doing it.
At least we did in the first like 2/3 of the first season, and we're branching out a little bit more and kind of doing that. So bear with us, guys. There's a couple things I think we should go over before we jump into today's topic. And the first one is as you're looking through our library, you're going to see something interesting. It's called The Dark Shadows of the Past. Now, what that is Jess and I are involved with a nonprofit organization here in Bellevue called Bellevue Forward. And part of our organization's Halloween celebrations is we put together a self-guided audio walking tour around our town that covers a couple ghost stories and a bunch of true crime. And the best way to get that out there was to slap it on our channel. And that's going to stay there. So if you're looking for something that kind of gives you a quick little stories and local legends, that's a nice place to start. If you're in the Pittsburgh area and you would still like to do the walking tour, you can most certainly do that.
We got the maps. We can show you where to go.
You can stop it at the shop and I can give you a map. Or, if you're listening on Spotify or YouTube, the map is the visual background of it. So you'll be able to have it there. It's a nice, fun little walk. The audio recording itself is about 28 minutes and 8 seconds.
About 28 minutes.
So exactly 28 minutes and 8 seconds. And it's kind of done in a fun way. It was a continuous record. So what you get is myself doing the narration and the guy and the directions, and then one of the local residents reading the stories. So it would be something along the lines of pause here and go to XYZ location and press play when ready. So, so it is continuous. You can listen straight through that. And, if you listen to it straight through, there's not much more than like a 1 second pause per.
The format was inspired by the National Park Service self-guided audio tour of Gettysburg that we've taken a couple of times now.
Yep.
Where you can just drive from location to location on the battlefield and listen to, like, here's what happened in this location. And we're like, we can do that with Bellevue.
Yeah. It was a fun time. That's going to stay up permanently, and hopefully next year, if we're lucky enough to still help be planning the Halloween stuff, we're going to do a part 2, and we'll have like Route A and Route B, and then just kind of build on it from there until we run out of stories.
And honestly, even if we're still not planning something like that, I think we should still do a Halloween spooky locale.
I agree.
Story time, basically.
Yeah. So if you're scrolling through the episodes, or if you've seen it come up already, that's the explanation of what that was / is. The other things I want to touch back into last episode a little bit. Last episode was the Am I the Asshole? Not really the Am I the Asshole, but we were talking about
the fake Etsy witch.
The fake Etsy witch. Looking back on it, it really does seem like we dump on Etsy witches a lot, and that's not the case. We dump on the fake ones. I think that's kind of like the direction of discussion, because it's so much easier to fake it when you're.
It's hard to separate the wheat from the chaff in that situation.
Yeah. So for all of our legitimate Etsy witches out there, keep doing what you're doing. Keep up the good fight. In all honesty, whether it's online or brick and mortar, we're in this together, and
that the OG one who got the girl struck by lightning,
right?
Cheers.
Cheers. Help
looking out.
help everybody else, point out and kind of show the same direction of maybe not. But I bring that up because, sorry, I had to pause to take a sip of coffee. I have and I can't even really call him a client coming in today.
Because he doesn't ever.
Because I don't charge him.
Yeah.
He comes in every now and then just for some spiritual guidance and advice on what to do day to day. And,
He doesn't get readings. He doesn't get services. Like,
he's gotten Reiki once, I think.
Yeah.
Bought maybe a couple tumbles. So, I'm saying this because I don't want people to think that this story is me just going like, this is bullshit. Why are you going to them? But he called after a lengthy period of time.
Yeah, it's been about 6 months.
Longer than he normally goes without talking with us. And he had gone to a different section of the city to see a psychic. And we're going to air quote psychic. Who started off with, oh, you need to meditate. Let me charge you to meditate. And then it evolved to, oh, you have a curse put on you by someone. Well, first off, this guy's not really in the metaphysical world whatsoever, other than just trying to find a way to get his life
in order.
And, he understands that there is energy and vibes out there. But he's not like a practicing witch. He's not a practicing anything that I know.
He's not a practitioner.
He's not a practitioner. So who the heck would put a curse on it? Right? And he doesn't walk around.
Not enough to fuck up his whole
life, right? Because that's the one big thing that people kind of forget. Like, who have you pissed off enough to put a curse on? Who do you know
who is
gifted and capable enough to put a curse on you, especially one that's going to impact and ruin your entire life, right? I'm just saying, like, but yeah, it turned to, oh, you have this curse on you, but I can help you take it off. And then, he does the next thing. And then the third one is going to be even more expensive. And next thing you know, he's being told, well, for just a couple $100 more.
Oh, he was being told like $1,500.
Oh.
He's into 4 digits at this point with this psychic.
And when he told her, I can't afford that,
she told him to
go get a personal loan.
When homeboy is already struggling with employment and finances, go into debt.
Yeah. And this is a brick and mortar store here in Pittsburgh.
Yep. So
I'm not going to be mentioning names. However, just in case they happen to be listening, you're on our radar. We're going to be keeping an eye on this. And if there's stories like this that keep coming out of there, yeah, it's going to be exposure city time.
One of their reviews,
I take this
said that
highly insulted.
One of their 1-star reviews, the person told them that they were too stable
to
get a reading.
In other words, too observant to notice that you're cold calling.
Yeah. Like, I love stable people in readings. It means we can delve into deeper shit.
I have an hour-long reading scheduled for tomorrow morning with a very stable individual, and I can't wait.
Oh, yeah, she's the best, too.
Like, it's fantastic. It's not that I have a problem with people who aren't stable. It's just...
You can really deep dive with people who know who they are and are standing 10 toes down on that.
Yeah.
And you can really deep dive into, like, the nitty-gritty of, like, what their spiritual experience is getting into. And, like, how they should be expanding and growing rather than teaching them to walk. You're helping them run a marathon.
Yeah. Which is a nice change. Don't get me wrong, I like when people come to us with their problems because I like helping people out of their problems. But when there's no problems and there's just kind of a check-in and a next step, it makes for a much more peaceful reading. Yeah. Less chaotic, less
like,
voices from the other, less voices from the other side trying to scream their point across to talk over everybody else so their opinion and their things are heard easier. So this, and I bring this up because I want people to realize it's not just platforms like Etsy.
Yeah, it's not just online platforms. It's very much.
And also, like, this is the reason why states like Pennsylvania still have fortune telling laws from the 1800s. because there are people like this out there still taking advantage of others. And as somebody who works right alongside of that line, I still support that law.
I think it needs to be
It probably needs an update, right? It probably needs a modernization, but there still needs to be something out there to protect people against these phony scammers.
No.
You know, I find it insulting that we have to mark stuff as for entertainment purpose only or sold as cameo, because to a degree that devalues what it is we do. Not that we're some like monstrous high commodity in the world, but you know, it's still a kick in the teeth having to say, okay, here's this extremely accurate reading that just really potentially can help you get out of a sticky situation.
It was just for funsies, guys.
It's for funsies. You know, so, but at the same time, when you have people scamming others out of thousands of dollars, you know, not even less than 5 years
Washington
ago,
County.
there was one down in Washington County. She took this guy for tens of thousands of dollars. You know, and it was all that same ploy of what we were just saying with this guy, and it was, oh, well, I didn't get it all, so pay me more and we'll do something else. You know, it's part of the reason why when we do house cleansings, I have the caveat in there. If it doesn't fully work the first time, I'm coming back for free.
Basically, you have a year. After that, yeah, we're charging you again because that's new shit. But you have about a year.
Yeah. Yeah.
To be like, hey, there's still something wonky going on. Didn't get all the pieces. I will tell you, we have never had somebody take us up on that.
Never. And a lot of them we have had come back into the shop, and we've gotten updates on it. You know, I do worry about that one couple.
Oh, the one by the cemetery?
By the cemetery. That was a gnarly.
She came back in a couple weeks later.
Oh no, yeah. And after that, yeah, there's a couple weeks after it came to one of my classes, like a month later. But now it's been a while, and it's just like I hope they're still okay.
Yeah,
kind of a deal. I'm assuming yes, otherwise they would have come back in because they would have at the very least have been gotten like 6 months apiece. So why not come and see if we can't get another 6? But anyway, that's enough for the
soapbox.
The soapbox. It's enough of the housekeeping side to it. Just extending off on it, and I know we hit this point a lot, and I think it's because this is something that's extremely important. Just be careful when you're finding somebody to work with. When you're finding a reader, a healer, you know, anything of the such. Make sure you do your due diligence.
Just like, and this goes right into our topic for today, mundane and magical. Just like when you're talking to a doctor and they give you a diagnosis, seek a second opinion.
Yeah.
Before you go through an invasive procedure, seek a second opinion. See what they have to say. See what they find.
Yeah. Yeah.
You might find things are not as dire as the first person who's trying to charge you $600 for something is trying to convince you it is. So do not be afraid to seek a second opinion. Even if it's at like a convention or something and somebody's doing readings for $40 or what have you.
Yeah.
Just be like, hey, so I just need a quick, they're doing, you know, 3 card pulls or whatever. Like, I just want a quick check-in about this reading I had a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
Where it's not expensive. There's no holds barred. You don't know this person. You've never met this person. Like, get a cold reading from somebody at some of these, especially in October. Like, we got all spooky night markets and stuff happening.
Psychic fairs.
All that good stuff. Hell, you even have some bars and stuff just bringing in a random tarot reader or what have you. So, seek a second opinion.
Yeah, yeah. And you know, if you're at one of these big, like, psychic convention type things, go to 3 different booths with the same question.
Yeah. Before you give one person hundreds of dollars, spread that money around. If you're already planning on spending that money, get a second opinion.
Yep. So, yeah. So, okay. So we are talking mundane versus magical, or mundane and magical. Kind of looking at approaching when things should be handled in the witchy world, or when they should be handled in the regular green world and the physical world. I think the biggest topic and the biggest point of this that needs to get driven home is when it comes to health.
Yes.
Right. And this is talking physical health and mental health. I don't want to prioritize one over the other because I think they're both extremely important. But when you're looking at that, the spiritual world, the metaphysical world is not the place to go to.
Yes. Take your meds. Get the blood work done. Go to the doctor.
Yeah.
Please, for the love of all things, talk to a medical professional.
Yeah. And listen to them.
And listen to them. Do what they recommend. In that realm, in the realm of your physical and mental health, magical aids can be used as aids, as support.
Yes.
For those issues. They should not be your first line of defense. Yeah. Your first line of defense should be your treatments, your medications, etc. I've had so many people come to me going like, well, my mom just got diagnosed with cancer and we're trying to find a way to fight that. I'm like, chemo is how you fight that. Like, I'm sorry. No, I can give you some bloodstone and things that will help support her during those treatments. But, an oncologist is what you need in this.
And you know, before you all sit there going like, oh, that's just silly. Of course I'll go to an oncologist. I wish I could say that it's an over-exaggeration, but the number of people...
I wish it was only one time I had to tell somebody that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I wish that was not... Like, I wish that was common sense.
Yep. Yep. You know, and it's like with Reiki. Reiki has always been on the traditional side. You know, we're talking Japanese Reiki, not necessarily Western Reiki. I think even Western Reiki still falls into this, but it's made to go hand in hand.
It's made to support
modern medicine. It's not supposed to replace. There is no spiritual healing techniques that I know of that I could ever 100% support as the only treatment option. To the extent of I've had people with Reiki come in and, you know, they want to use the sessions to help with their mental space, dealing with traumas, and a whole lot of things that should be getting talked to with a therapist. And I double check and I make sure, like, I need to verify that you are seeing somebody.
Like, that you are working through this in a clinical setting.
Yeah. And we've also heard a number of times of, well, on TikTok, I saw this thing where it says that taking my mental health pills will diminish my ability as a witch. So I stopped taking that.
These same people will also be doing meth at the same time.
That's the wrong kind of crystal.
It's the wrong kind of crystal, first off. But it's like, okay, you cannot ignore taking your fucking Zoloft.
There it is.
Oh no, I've dropped that a while ago.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh, that of course. Also, my mug is facing the screen. It says fucking on it.
Yeah.
So okay.
That will ignore taking Zoloft, Wellbutrin, what have you. But then they're also snorting copious lines of coke, and it's like, okay, you won't do the pharmaceuticals because drugs are bad, but you're doing drugs.
Drugs are bad.
And you're in active psychosis. One drug helps you not be.
Yeah.
One drug gets you deeper.
Yeah. So I think that's like I said, that prime spot of needing mention. If it has to do with being anything in the medical world, you are doing mundane over magical. It doesn't mean you can't do magical as a support, but mundane is definitely over magical in this scenario.
And if you are seeking herbal support, like supplements, and you're like, all right, well, I'm involved with XYZ treatment. I'm looking for something to help support that. make sure you are talking to somebody who is a certified herbalist, somebody who has a degree that is designed around making sure that certain herbs do not interact with certain medications, that understand mundane and herbal, like traditional Western medicine and herbal pharmaceutical support and treatment together.
Yeah, I was kind of borderline surprised, but not surprised at the same time that it is a 7-year course of study to become an herbalist. It is quite literally a program to be a doctor.
It's a master's degree in pharmaceuticals.
Yeah.
I have so many people come in like, well, I have seasonal affective disorder. You know, they get the SADS during the winter. Totally fair. One thing that even most muggles know is that St. John's wort is great for them. And it is. But St. John's wort also makes birth control and antibiotics ineffective. So it's not great if you're on either of those things.
Yep. And that's the whole point of becoming the certified. You're not just learning what the herbs are good for. You have to be able to know and recollect quickly what medicines they can't go with and why.
It is as much a medical degree as at least a master's in pharmaceuticals. Like, you need to know your shit. So if you're like, oh, well, like, I'm not certified. So people walk in the shop and I'm more than happy, like, you know, they're like, I'm getting nauseous a lot lately. Chamomile tea. Like,
yeah, there's some things that are pretty basic and pretty plain.
I've got a really bad cold and I'm trying to get rid of mullein. You know, like, there are things that don't have a lot of interactions that I feel okay being like, yeah, like, well, when I'm sick, I use this.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're on. I don't know what medications you're on, so double check. But that's what I use when I have XYZ.
Well, and I hear you at least, it's got to be at least 2 or 3 times a week saying to the person, I'm not a certified herbalist.
I said it to 3 customers in a row Monday.
And then pointing out, like, it would be illegal for me
to give medical
advice. So if you are talking in this case, okay, red flag goes up again, you know, I think that. But if somebody is trying to sell you or teach you or have you take stuff using herbs on a medical purpose and for physical things,
get their credentials,
double check if they're certified. And it's like, oh yeah, of course I am.
And their certification is from a fucking Facebook.
What can you you tell me of the 4 herbs you gave me, what medicines don't they mix with?
Like, what do they interact with?
If they can't tell you what the herbs interact with poorly or positively, then they're not.
Yeah.
It's just, I mean, that's a basic part of what being an herbalist is. So, careful. And I say careful on that one, not because of a scamming route or a spiritual route. I mean on a physical route. Like, that could just insanely... I mean, we had one friend on our shop's Discord asking about what kind of herbal things they can take. They're pregnant, that is safe. And of course, I see headache, I think pain relief. I'm instantly about to say white willow bark. And I'm like, wait a second, hold up. No, wait. Google it real quick. It's like, oh, crap, that's fetus deletus.
Yeah.
Right? So it's sometimes even just something what seems really basic can have massive
complications.
Consequences. So please be careful with that. You know, using herbs is a wonderful thing.
It's a great support. Make sure, even if you're getting it from a certified herbalist, maybe you forgot to tell them about something you're on.
Yeah.
Like, maybe you forgot to tell them that you're on a daily baby aspirin.
Which is why you also should tell your doctor that you're taking herbals to go along with. So then the doctor... Now, honestly, there's going to be a whole lot of doctors out there that are going to tell you that's hooey. Don't do it. Just take your medicine. Don't let them convince you otherwise. If that's something you feel comfortable doing, if you're talking to an actual certified herbalist, tell them, like, I'm still going to be taking my medicine because mundane over magical, even though technically we're still looking at
in the mundane
world, it's still best to stay on your medicines. Okay.
Yeah.
But be like, hey, no, I'm still going to be taking my prescriptions. This is what I want to use as a boost or as a help, and here's why. Get their opinion. And I don't think I've ever heard of a doctor who, after having the rational conversation and getting understanding that you're still going to be on your prescriptions, wouldn't be like, I mean, yeah, you can. It's not my thing, and I definitely don't recommend it. But yeah, that will work fine.
But say, like, your antidepressants make you nauseous in the morning.
Yeah.
So you talk to your doctor and say, like, is it okay if I do a ginger chamomile tea with my medicine in the morning?
Yeah.
Because my stomach gets really upset and this helps settle my stomach. Yeah. Is there going to be an interaction?
Yeah.
Then they can be like, that is an appropriate marriage of herbal over...
Yeah, of herbal and modern.
And modern.
And this also goes not just talking with herbalists, but for, like, all those books and stuff you now see on, like, TikTok Shop and out in Barnes & Noble about herbal medicine. If the book doesn't list the drugs that the herbs interact with, you really need to do deep dive research before you start taking anything out of those books. Okay, so this is something that's very, very serious. It can potentially be life-threatening. So, especially when it's mental health drugs.
Yep.
Right. Those things get wonky. You get pulled off of them too fast, too soon. It can get real dark real quick because of a dependency and a withdrawal. So please be extremely careful with that. Another thing that I think that you should look mundane over magical. Your boyfriend cheating, your girlfriend cheating, your significant other stepping out.
If you're going into a reader to ask if your significant other is cheating, the relationship is over.
Yeah.
Like, I literally have one deck that will just be like, dump them.
Mm-hmm.
And
it's not healthy good relationships.
And it's not wrong. If you are so concerned about your significant other's actions that you are seeking the advice of a psychic or a reader, there is no trust in that relationship, and the relationship is over, period.
Yeah, I always go into those readings like, are you sure you want to know? Yeah, I need to know. Cool. Then it comes out bad. It's like,
told you.
So, and they're like, yeah, I kind of figured. I'm like, I kind of figured also, because if you're here asking, nobody goes, hey, how healthy is my relationship? It's great.
Right.
I mean it, right? If you're asking about it, you obviously think something's funky to begin with.
The vibes are off. You already know it's over. You just need verification that it's over. That's one thing.
But at the same time, why are we going to go and then try to put a curse on? Why? Just the best bet. End it. You want to do it cord cutting? That is the only magical explanation I think there should be.
For me, cord cutting is completely healthy. Let's get those energetic bonds severed so that you can heal and move past it.
End it and move on. And going after the person that they cheated with, do you even know if they know you exist? So do you really want to be throwing something at somebody who may be as innocent in this as you are, and may actually, feeling like they were the one cheated on?
Yeah. Also, cord cutting isn't a magical heal-all.
Nope.
You're still going to grieve that relationship. You should grieve that relationship.
Which is why you should probably save the cord cutting until your grieving process is done.
Or at least towards the end.
Yeah, because if you're still grieving hardcore, you're still keeping an energetic bond. And that bond is something that you're creating and will be, it'll live across time and through the cutting.
I'm not against doing cord cuttings fairly early.
Okay.
But I think you should do a second one once you're done grieving.
Okay,
I think it's like, okay, I'm done with this relationship and you're standing 10 toes down on being done. If you understand that there's still going to be a process that you have to emotionally heal from.
Right, but that's something that you need the people that do it early need to understand that cord cutting is not going to be the one that breaks the cord. It's going to put those first couple nicks into it.
It's going to make sure that you aren't tempted to go back every time they try to apologize or every time they reach out. That's what that first cord cutting is for.
So essentially what it's, we'll use a little pop culture reference on this one. It is the rope bridge from Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom.
Yes.
Right? So he's hacking at the rope bridge, and he cuts through like one or two little twines of the thick rope, and they start unfurling, and now you just have like that one little string to hold it. That's what that first cord cutting is, right? It's getting those outer strings out of the way. So don't expect, if you do one immediately, or hell, if you even do it while the relationship is still technically going, right? It's not going to be the end all be all. You will have to do it again because your emotions are
still involved.
And it's still, you cut it, but you're still giving attention to the other person and to the relationship. So you yourself are what's keeping that person there and keeping that tie in place.
Yeah, for me, that first cord cutting is to make sure that, like, yes, I'm done with this relationship. It is not good for me. I want to make sure if they come back at me to apologize, to try to get me back, that I am not tempted to go back.
Yeah. Yeah.
That I'm like, no, I'm done. I still need to grieve the relationship and let myself heal, but I want to make sure that I don't keep opening that wound.
Yeah. And understand, and this doesn't even have to be a love relationship. This could be a family. This could be
work.
A job. This could be a boss. This could work.
Sorry.
But it's okay.
To not be okay.
Yeah. And it's also okay to keep a little string attached to it for years to come. Right? I still have a small string attached to a very toxic work relationship. I had a boss that was embezzling like shit, and did he blame everything on me and the restaurant failing, which it wasn't. I mean, he was
failing because he was taking about $250,000 a year from the restaurant.
But even with that, we were still just above. Although when he doctored the books, it looked like we were much, much lower. We had access to all the books and records.
I did the bookkeeping.
Jess, she was the office manager, so she organized everything.
I knew what was going out in payroll. I knew it was going out in...
We knew what was coming in sales, and then I would have investors mention about sales being down, and I'd be like, no, sales are actually up over...
Here's my spreadsheet.
Yeah, like I can show you them. So, I have tried to cut that cord so many times, and I have used Reiki to heal the past, and I've gotten to a point where I'm not going to punch him in the face if I see him on the streets.
But also, I think with that particular cord, you learned a real hard lesson.
Yes.
And so part of that cord still needs to be there because you need to remember that lesson.
Yes. That whole situation was, I put my everything into that. That was a project that should have been the last place I ever worked. It was a lot of things. And because I still love the crew that I had,
and what you did
there,
that
we did, the building that we had, because I still love all of that. That's why there's going to be a partial string there. I think everybody from our past, when we go back to looking at it on a romantic stance, if you truly love that person, I'm not just talking like, oh my God, I love him so much. I'm talking, this is a person whose soul is tied to you.
There's always going to be something.
You don't understand. There's always going to be something. Always. So, don't get upset if the cord never fully breaks. Right. I think that, some other mundane, kind of
real heavy, real light.
Kind of keying in on some of the same type stuff. When somebody's done you wrong, or you feel like they've done you wrong and is in a bad place, and they're not practitioners, handling and dealing all that, I think, is in our responsibility, should be done in the mundane.
We differ on this.
We do. Now there is always an asterisk.
I'll throw
There's
a cunt in a jar
always
yesterday.
an exception. But me personally, I think it's unfair.
He doesn't
to
cast
use
on
magic
muggles.
I don't. I don't think it's fair.
Except in extreme
In
circumstances.
extreme circumstances, yes, that's okay.
Like with Ray and...
Oh, yeah. When our friend Ray was murdered and we sent a whole lot of bad stuff into the jail cell of the asshole that did it, yeah, that's an extreme and that's okay.
Like,
he doesn't deserve.
Sorry, somebody died. Somebody touches children.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm putting that motherfucker down.
Things like that. There are extremes in which it's okay. But when it comes to...
I'm not hexing somebody because they cut me off in traffic. Like,
exactly.
That's such a waste of energy and time. Just move on.
Brenda in the cubicle next to me is a gossip and a chitter-chatter, and I don't like it because they're always in my business. I'm not going to hex them. And I'm not going to throw...
There's stop gossip spells that you can do on them that are not hexes.
Yes. And there's a difference in there. Like, I'm not saying, something like a sweet jar or a stop gossip.
Like a red candle, 3 cloves in their name. Not hexing them, it's shutting them the fuck up.
Yes. No, I'm talking specifically hexing and putting them in like,
when I'm burying somebody in a cemetery.
Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Like, they're muggles. They don't have... So, if you don't have natural protections already in place and wardings, and you don't have a spirit team built up that's looking to have your back at all costs, I recommend you go back and listen to some of the previous episodes, because if you're living in the metaphysical world, these are things that should be in place. These are the foundations, right?
These are where you establish your cornerstones.
Yeah. And you know what? When you're in this world, you're going to run the risk of getting cursed. Because you're hanging out with other practitioners, you're going to eventually piss somebody off. And somebody's going to have not the strong morals and try to attach a demon to you for the next 6 lifetimes.
And there are people out there
who do it willy-nilly.
And who will do it on your children.
Yeah.
They won't go for you. They'll go for your kids. They'll go for your pets. Because people exist on different ethical and moral planes.
Yeah.
So... when you're building up those protections, make sure you're building up for the whole family.
Yeah. Well, it's like that one TikTok guy. He's all of a sudden like, what? Why is somebody throwing a hex on me? What did I do?
Charm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it quite literally was just somebody in the comment section
just wanted to see if they could.
Wanted to see if they could. So that's, and are you necessarily getting attacked left, right, and center? No, but it's this, there's equivalents. In the mundane world, if you piss somebody off, they're going to say or do something. They might slap you across the face if you call them a dirty C word.
Yeah.
Right. In the metaphysical world, you call them a dirty C word, they're going to put your ass in a jar and bury you in a graveyard somewhere. Right. So it actually is the same level of reaction, just in different worlds, right? And I don't know about you, but if I see somebody gearing up to slap me across the face, I'll throw my hand up. Could block that shit. Right?
Something else I would like to point out with mundane and magical working together. Mundane. Vote to keep police in schools to help with school violence, specifically school shootings. I know Pat and I are both of the generation where Columbine was happening when we were in high school.
Yep.
Where we started getting shooting drills and what have you.
Which, by the way, let me pause that real quick. For all of you who lived during that time frame and remember all that stuff, there's a lot coming out about those shooters now. They weren't bullied.
They're dickheads. They're massive dickheads.
It's coming out now that this whole mentality of like, oh, they were bullied into it is a load of... They were assholes and actually did a whole lot of bullying themselves.
Yeah,
so.
They were the bullies. Fuck them.
Yeah, side note over.
So yeah, vote to have those physical protections in place in the event that something happens. Things like doors being locked, like being able to be locked appropriately, etc. I also bury a ward at our children's school the beginning of every school year. I plant something in the school grounds, like usually around like either the entryway or around the playground, that is a ward against school violence.
Mm-hmm. So that's,
I'm not saying it's working, but they haven't had a school shooting. So I'm not saying it's 100%, but with appropriate protections in place, you can also encourage an environment where that is less likely to happen.
Exactly. And like you said, an important part of that is also voting for the right people to get the right kind of precautions and safeties into these schools.
And working with your school administration and your PTAs and what have you.
Personally, I'm a big fan of arming teachers, but only like 2 in the school. And not tell anybody
who has
including the teachers.
Like, who's armed?
Don't let anybody know except for, like, the principal, the superintendent, and those, like, 2 or 3 teachers.
Who's the werewolf game?
Yeah.
But which teacher has a gun?
Right? So you don't know if you're in the classroom with that teacher, so chances are you're going to behave a little bit more. Psychological mind game. And you can do one better. You can tell everybody in the district that that's what you're doing, and then not actually
do it.
There could be no pew-pew in the school whatsoever. But kids are going to think some of the teachers are armed, so they might just behave a little bit.
But yeah, don't be afraid to do something like that. I know one of my daughter's friend, like my eldest friend, her mom is a substitute at the school. Mm-hmm. When I told her I did that, she was like, and she's a practitioner. She's active. She's one of our customers. She was like, I never even thought to do that. Like, just imagine even if it's just the 2 of us, that's another layer. Like we're adding that energy in. And if you're not a practitioner, say a prayer.
Yep. Same thing.
Like say a prayer when you do drop off and pick up. As you come in, ask your spirits to continue to guard.
Although fairly certain if they're listening to this podcast, they're a practitioner.
Yeah, but if they're not like...
I don't think we have too many non-practitioners.
Or if their kids go to a school that you're not going to be able to bury anything on.
Yeah.
What have you, like... Call your spirits every time you do drop off.
Yeah, it doesn't even have to be a physical bury. It could be,
adding a little energy.
Yeah, take 2 seconds to lean against a door frame, put your hand on it, and mentally implant on it with that, right? There's a lot of ways around and doing things. Another good mundane over magical, and I think of this because you said the big V word. Voting.
Yes.
Voting is highly important, okay? Get out there and do it. I'm not going to tell you what...
I don't care how you vote.
I don't care how you vote. Just make sure you're being informed, right? There's a lot of misinformation on all sides right now. Do your research, do your homework, make sure you're informed, and that you're never going to find a candidate that aligns 100% with your beliefs. Find the one who covers the majority of it.
Seeking perfection is the enemy of progress.
Yeah. Now, why do I say mundane over magical? Okay. This whole, I'm going to hex Donald Trump, or I'm going to hex Pete Hegseth, or I'm going to hex yada, 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 yada. Cool.
I get it. Whatever.
I get it. But
they're avatars of a giant institution.
Yes. When it comes down to it, there's just as many people sending out prayers and well wishes against it's not going to be effective. And I know some people are going to want to turn around and say, well, they did it to Charlie Kirk. To get all of that organized, those shooters were in effect long before that curse and that hex would have gone out. They were saying it happened like a couple days to a week ahead of time.
No.
This dude
it doesn't happen that fast.
Well, yeah, but the planning of something like that takes much longer than that.
Yeah.
So the wheels were already in motion. Okay. It's just kind of that happy accident that people are able to point to that and say, haha, he got him. Or they got them or she got them, whatever.
Also,
you see what I'm saying? When it comes to politics, your greatest voice is your vote. And get out, campaign, help the politicians that you think are going to be great and best for your thing. Being involved is the mundane way of getting it done.
Local government is so important and people ignore it.
Let's not touch on that one right now. Let's touch.
No. But I'm going to say that our friend is running for mayor of the town next door.
Woo!
Go Heather!
For all you
it's so weird for me to be like, I am a small business owner and I'm on the Chamber of Commerce and my friend's running for mayor. That's weird. I am not that grown.
I'm a degenerate. How?
I am wearing a bisexual t-shirt that says, I swing both ways violently with an axe. Like, I should not be in charge of things. But local government is way more important than you think in your everyday life, and stop focusing on a global scale so much that you get paralysis on it. Yep. You need to be involved with your community. It's so important. It's so much easier to affect change in people's lives.
Yep.
On a local scale. Byron Ballard posted something on her Facebook around right after the election. It was like, do 3 things. 1 thing for yourself, 1 thing for your household, and 1 thing for your local community. Mm-hmm. Things that you can handle.
Yep.
And those ripples will grow bigger. Because as you help yourself, because you can't pour from an empty cup, you're able to be more present for your family. As your family is also able to be more present and more cared for, they're going to go out and care for more. Every person you affect is going to ripple outwards.
Yeah.
So let's make as many of those ripples as positive as we can.
Yep.
And be as assistive as we can.
Yep.
Nobody's saying you have to do everything all at once. Like 3 things that you can do.
Yep. And believe me, I get it. There's definitely been a whole lot of politicians in my day that I would love to throw something at. But like I said, as many people as they might have throwing at them, they have just as many who are
protecting
them and canceling it out.
And so, again, they are avatars of a larger identity and ideology.
And they're all on the same team.
They're
all on the same team, and it's versus us.
It's 2 wings on the same rotten fucking turkey. I can't eat turkey, so
that's what makes it funnier.
So yeah, that is my political post for a minute.
And again, that's about as political as you'll.
And that's as political as you'll see us.
It's just, we're discussing Mundane over Magical, and that's the prime example. Like, getting involved, making sure you vote. I was raised under the stance of if you didn't vote, you don't have a right to bitch.
Yeah.
Right. So, you can bitch all you want, like, this person shouldn't be in because da 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 da. It's like, then who'd you vote for? Oh, no one. Then you gave up your say.
Well, I didn't like them either, and it's like, okay, but you had 2 choices. You picked none, which means everybody who did vote.
Yep.
Picked who they picked.
Yep.
You don't get to bitch if you don't actually try.
Yeah. Yeah. And this is especially important because next week? No, not next week.
No,
2 or 3 weeks from now.
First week of November.
There's elections going on. So, and most of them are local. So make sure you're jumping in. What's really frustrating for me is when we look at local, our borough, our township that we live in, it really doesn't affect us.
No. There's not a whole lot that goes on.
There's not a whole lot that goes on. It's very small. The only thing that annoys the crap out of me with them is
waste management.
But other than that, there's nothing really that goes on that affects us.
Our roads are generally okay. The cops are not a pain in the ass. Like, our fire department.
But then we look at the town that our shop is in, which is 5 minutes down the road. So it's not like we're coming in.
It's like 2 boroughs over. Clusterfuck.
Ugh.
Giant clusterfuck.
But it's the community that we're most involved in because we have most at stake here, and there's nothing we can do about it.
Yeah, we can't.
We can't vote. We can't run. I was even looking in last night. I did some quick research on what constitutes residency in a borough in Pennsylvania, in hopes that I could use the shop's lease as proof of air quotes residency. Unfortunately, it does use the word domicile. Damn it.
We involve ourselves as we can in local nonprofits instead, because that's what we can legally engage in. But anyway, okay.
Yeah, moving off of that one. A good place where you can do mundane and magical combined. We've discussed this before. That is stuff like Florida water into your mop buckets, or into spray bottles and stuff of that such.
We're going to make it a little lighter now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cleansing is a great place to incorporate magical with your mundane.
Yep.
So that you're not having to do extra steps. Yes, it is great sometimes to do a whole ass house cleansing. But you know when it's the best time to do that? When you've cleaned your whole house. It feels so much better when you're like, all right, I shampooed my carpets. I put everything away. My floor is clean. My windows are clean. Now let's, do a big old cleanse. Feels great. You will already have made the steps to that by adding elements to your cleaning supplies. Chamomile is a great one. It's highly accessible. You guys can go to the grocery store and buy chamomile tea with your food stamps. Like, it's highly accessible. Great for tummies, great for insomnia. Also draws in health, wealth, luck, peace, and abundance. Like, great vibes, right? And it's a purifier. So if you can't afford anything else, you can make a cup of chamomile tea and throw it in your wash water.
I also think it's something like gardening.
Gardening
is a great combination, because as you're and let's not narrow it to gardening. I think yard work in general is great as a great combination, because you are grounding and centering, and you can send all of the down into Mother Earth to filter out while you're doing it. And that's not even then including that, if it's the gardening aspect, you can be planting your herbs.
You can be, and certain plants have certain properties.
Yep.
Some protect from thieves, some protect from lightning, some protect from fires. Get those around your house. Yes, have your smoke detectors. Yes, make sure, you have locks on your door. Those things are also going to protect, but, add a little extra.
Yeah.
Add a little extra.
I suppose when we look at it, we could probably keep giving you idea after idea after ideas for mundane and magical combinations. But there's the very simple answer of just about everywhere in life, just about everything you do
can be supported magically.
So I think the purpose of the episode is probably more to point out that magical shouldn't go before mundane. If you have to put one before the other, mundane is going to be your safer one to put first.
Because we exist in this realm.
Exactly. But they can click together, and probably should click together, and support each other and grow together and be there with each other in the combination.
Going for a promotion, going for a new job. Add a little bit of an abundance spell to that.
Yep. But you best be prepping for the interviews. You best be getting everything, all your ducks in a line.
Yeah, just burn your candle while you're filling out applications, while you're writing your resume, etc.
Exactly.
Support that with your physical tasks.
Yes.
Do you have a trouble working from home and you have points of the day that you start lagging, your focus is off, you're tired, what have you? Fluorite in your workspace.
Yep.
It's good for mental clarity. Do you have to do do you have conflict at work? Do you have people in your office space that are always kind of butting heads?
Yeah.
Blue calcite is great for harmony in the workplace. There are things you can do that are also don't engage in the catty bullshit, but also chill everyone out for a minute.
Yeah. That sounds about right to me.
So, there's so many ways you can support your everyday life magically. Doesn't mean you're waving a magic wand and making everything right. That's not how it works. This is real life, not Harry Potter.
But wouldn't it be great if
it would be? Also, like, we really need to figure out teleportation. Like the whole whatever apparition that they do in Harry Potter, where they're just like pop and they're there. Yeah, I need that. Hell, I'll settle for flu powder.
Yeah.
But like,
I'd end up splitting something.
Yeah, but I just don't want to go on airlines anymore. They're awful.
Well, they're not that bad. I know you hate flying.
Speaking of airlines, there are several crystals you can carry on that will help ease travel anxiety or help you get safely to your next destination, for those of you who are anxious about flying.
Fair enough.
Or on cruises. I honestly think anytime I go in the air or on the water, I'm about to die. So,
well, then you just need to let me drive us cross country next time.
No, it takes too long. I get car sick. I am not built for it. I am built for being in new places. I'm not built for getting there. So I need the teleportation thing to happen. I need the magic wand to just pop me. So I can go to like Tokyo and shit without having to fly for 16 hours.
What's the fun of putting the rag to knock people out?
Chloroform.
All I need is a rag, this is chloroform, and you're getting teleported. You blink 1 second, we're home. The next second, we're in California. I would have a lot of explaining to do on why I'm wheeling.
Why it's November 4th.
Excuse me, sir. Why are you wheeling an unconscious woman around in a wheelchair in the airport?
Don't worry about it.
Just make sure there's another wheelchair at the other
end.
And that's how Pat gets a 20-year vacation to Club Fed.
No, you don't get that. I wouldn't press charges. I need somebody to help with them kids.
Would you like to press charges? No, I knew about this.
No, I would be like, no, bitch, I got pickup on Wednesday.
All right, on that note, we are doing yet another tangent, so
sorry about that.
Let's go ahead and start. You know what? This one didn't quite go in the direction I think I thought it would go, but I highly enjoyed it. It's just one of our
conversations
that kind of go off in the end that first made us think, like, maybe we should do a podcast. That was interesting.
So anyway, good luck. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, you know where to find us.
They don't. So you can do a message over any of the platforms in which you're listening or watching the podcast at the moment. You can also go to The.Conclave.Podcast on Facebook or Instagram, or email us directly at The.Conclave.Podcast@gmail.com.
And if you're not able to find us on any of those for some reason, you can also email us at themenageriePGH@gmail.com. And you can find our shop at themenageriePGH.com.
Take .com off Facebook, Instagram.
Yeah.
.com, please. If you did enjoy this, please like, share, subscribe, follow, tell your friends, tell your parents. If you didn't like it, tell them too. Be like, hey, listen, go check out these jackasses. You're going to infuriate you.
Yeah, get our listener count up.
All right, guys. Y'all have yourselves a wonderful, wonderful day.
Until next time.